Where I hope to successfully replank a trailer, make some ramps for it, and I think in my second video I'm going to redo all the wiring. So I've got this trailer and these planks. I've cut some planks for it to redeck it, and I've got to retain those planks in place. I've also got some guests apparently too. They seem to always know whenever I'm trying to film something. So what I'm going to do is secure these planks into place so that I could use this trailer, successfully and, without having things slide off of it. Before this, I had just some plywood on top of it, but I need to put some actual weight on this trailer. So I've got some pieces of angle iron that I cut out to kind of cap either end, and also another piece right here in the middle to extend that little spot right there. So I'd rather not make this a whole video about welding, but I'll show you some of the pieces that I'm going to weld. I got to put those guys away, those girls away, so that they're safe for my welding. But I'm going to put some caps on either end. Then I could use some decking screws down the middle in different spots. I'll probably make some make some chalk lines where I want to actually put some decking screws in to make sure it's all held in place. And then after that, I'm going to make some ramps, and I'm going to add a couple of other little things I made in another video. I'll put a link to the other video where I made some little skid plates that I'm going to put in the back over there, and a couple of extra tie downs that I'll put probably right about there, somewhere in the front, probably just behind that reflector, which seems to be cracked. Hopefully still works. All right, let me start welding those pieces on, and you can kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to do once you see those pieces go into place. I didn't do a continuous weld because honestly I don't really need it, and also because I want to allow for some drainage. So I'll hit that with some paint, and that should hopefully be good. Now that'll lock the long boards into place, front to back. I'll drop a couple of screws, decking screws in place for those. There are two other things, well, two other types of things, four things total that I want to put on. I've got two stake pockets that I made. I'll put one on either side, somewhere in the front section, probably slightly behind that marker. And the reason I want to put them on kind of near the front is I just want them as another tie down point in the front, and that tie down point is going to allow me to strap things down. Most of my weight is going to be, you know, forward the wheels. So I'll show you what I made, and I'll show you the video that I made that in down below. And can I help you? No, we're good. We're good. Okay. Can I finish filming, girls? Thank you. So I'll get one on this side, one on the other side, and that'll give me another point to ratchet things down to. Let me show you what those look like, and I'll show you them getting welded in. Bunny ear style stake pocket. I think it's time for new gloves. I'm going to weld it on the side there, and that'll basically just give me a spot to latch things into, or to ratchet things into. No, it's definitely far from perfect, but with the size ratchet straps I use, the cheap orange Harbor Freight ones, this is actually perfect because I could, you know, put one forward, one back. If you had bigger ones, you could cut a bigger hole, whichever works better for you. So I'm going to try to nice and neatly weld these on. See how those come out. Looks like that's on nice and tight. It's at the perfect height for you to, yeah, it's not going anywhere. Perfect height for you to scratch your knee on or catch yourself on sitting on the edge of the trailer. So I think it's just right. I'll probably take the sander to it at some point and try to clean some of this stuff off the end too. Let me put the other side on, and then I'll show you the other piece that I want to put into place. Okay, next piece I'm putting in on both sides on the back. It's a little scraper. It's like a sacrificial part. I used that same plasma cutter to cut a relief notch in and kind of knock it up, so that this could be a piece that sits underneath like this, and every time the trailer gets, you know, squats down on the back, it'll at least have something to scrape along other than first hitting this this portion here, hitting that portion of the frame there. So I'm going to weld that into place, and that also doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to get it as close as humanly possible, and just so it's solid enough to hopefully not fall off. Especially since it's a sacrificial piece, it doesn't really matter. Clean up with the grinder, maybe the flap disc, and then once everything cools off, I will give that a good, not a good, just a quick paint job. Same thing with the angle iron across the back here. Something just found its place. The little piece in the middle that I put in there, and the angle iron across the front. So once they're cold or cooled enough, I'll throw some paint on them. Next, let me start setting up everything for the ramps, and that's the home right there, where the ramps are going to live once I make them. I wanted to leave that spot open so I could have a place to store my ramps when I'm not using them. themselves are actually pretty simple. They're just more angle iron. I think these are just under 5 feet long each. I made them a little wide, so these are 15-inch wides. Most ramps you see will be about 12 inches wide, but this gives me a little extra leeway in case I've got anything with larger tires, or that way also I don't have to slide the ramps too much. But I'm going to square these up, and then I will tack them together. The bottom portions of the ramp, the angle iron will be perfectly flush against, well, not perfectly, will be flush against the edges. At the top, it's going to hang a little bit over, and this has to be over enough that it can hook into another piece of angle iron. And that's going to be another piece that I'm going to have to weld onto the end of the trailer. Then going down, I'll have pieces sitting like this. Now this is the bottom side, remember, so the top side will have, the top will have two pieces that will, two actual lines that will be points of contact for a wheel going up this. Looking at this more and more, I'm thinking I probably should have gone with 12-inch wide ramps. There's probably a reason why people do that. But let's see how bad this comes out. If it's really terrible, I could just throw diamond plate over both ramps, or put a piece of strap metal down the middle. So let me square these up and then start tacking them together. Okay, so that's what they look like squared up, and I have officially run out of shielding gas. So I'm either going to switch to stick, or, which, you know, you could do an entire trailer and stick without any issue. I just like this particular machine's Millermatic 252. It's really nice. But that's what it looks like. That's what I'm going to have to weld together, all those pieces. I didn't measure them. I kind of eyeballed them, and I'll line up the other pieces the same way. Go get some welding gas, come back, tack these all up, and I will show you what it looks like when it's all done. And I'll also cut the pieces that I need for these pieces to hook into at the end of the ramp. And also show you something. I've got to notch out a little bit of the back of these so that they could fit into that spot back there at the back of the trailer. They're just going to slide right into that, just like the wooden planks do. So let me get some shielding gas, get these all welded up, and I'll get my plasma torch out and notch these out. Okay, so that is everything welded up as far as the ramps are concerned. This is what they look like. And off camera I did weld something else in. Poorly, however, I did weld in. You see these little extensions? Well, those are going to hopefully be what this little edge here connects into. Okay, so that's basically how it's going to fit in. Now you can see I need to tighten those up a little bit. So I'll put some I'll box in underneath them, underneath these little ledges here, try to strengthen them up some. And then what I have to do next is start securing the boards down, and then I'll show you how these ramps are going to be secured in place. You can see how the ramps will fit right into this opening. However, I want to make them slide back and underneath this. So I'm going to have to give them a little bit of a notch here on each one. So I'm going to do that with just a cutting wheel. And yes, if you notice those are my safety flip-flops. I'd recommend wearing boots with steel-tip toes if you're going to steel-tip boots if you're going to be doing this. Okay, I'm going to notch those out and we'll see how well they fit afterwards. Or I'm going to notch those out. We'll see how well they fit after I'm done. So took a little notch out of both sides and across the back. And what that does is it allows me to take these ramps and just drop them right into place. So yeah, they'll still bang around like ramps always do. But now all I need to do is get, I don't know, maybe some hood pins in up there. And I kind of holding them down up front, or some bolts. Okay, next two things, well, a few things to do. I got to get some box or something underneath the ramp holders. I've got to screw down all the boards, and then I've got to make some extensions for my lights. I'll put the license plate on the right side. I got some different lights to put on. Previous setup for the electrical had the license plate on the bottom, so it of course gets just smashed to pieces. Thinking about putting an extension out here, holding the light above it and the plate right above that. So I'll have, and then same thing on the other side. Maybe just a piece of angle iron. All right, so let me get some of those parts set up, some of those items set up next. If you're doing a project like this, it's really important to wear proper safety equipment. I'm really not wearing as much as I should. And I could just show you right now. I don't know if you could see that sunburn that I got. That's just from just one day of welding here. Not that much, not heavy welding, but doing some welding without sleeves on. And you might be able to see up here, got a bit of a sunburn up here as well. And those sunburns can be really nasty. So even if you're just gonna be welding a little bit, you know, you gotta wear with the right protection. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't be an idiot like me. Wear the right stuff for the work that you're doing. Despite how much they interrupted me, no chickens were harmed during the making of this video. Really? It's on video too. That's gross. So the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to put a piece of angle iron out a little bit over here. So I have something to bolt these lights to. I picked these up on Amazon cheapy lights. I'm also going to put some reinforcement underneath each one of these. This might look a little bit like overkill, but I'll put 2 pieces under each side. That'll give it something a little more structural to connect to. So I'm going to burn those in, and then I'll start drawing lines of where I'm going to start putting decking screws in. Okay, those should help to strengthen up the little lip there. I don't know if those are going to get in the way. If they are, I'll just cut them down. And that little ear will be perfect for my light. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll be ready to start chalk lining some marks on the decking to put decking screws in. Okay, first step is going to be snapping some chalk lines where I think the board should go. That also means I need to line these boards up a little bit. just about as good as they're going to get. Right. Let's see. We still have one there. Okay, for the decking screws, I've got these just standard decking screws from Depot. I've got 2.5 or 3 inch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill holes, like starter holes. I'm trying to find the right drill bit size where this will just start to grab in, and then it'll actually take going into the metal. So I got to find something that will work for that, at least close to the right size bit for that. After fighting with those decking screws for a little while, I ended up getting some bolts and some good good drill bits, and drilled a bunch of holes and dropped the bolts in. So I've got those all set up, and I also drilled some holes through the ramps and put in, I forget what these pins are called, but put in some of these clipping pin, trailer pins. These, you know, the pins that do that, and you gotta flip them through there. I forget what these are called. This should, 2 pins on each ramp on one end, and the other end being held in under this ledge. That should take care of it. I've also put a couple bolts in for the license plate. Alright, so next I got to go underneath and just tighten all these down, and that should be it for the decking. Let's see how easy it is to tighten these all down though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit a washer under each one, but wherever I can, I will. Down now, the deck is nice and steady. So I'm just gonna spray paint the pieces of metal that I added in. Okay, I'll finish this off and put the pull the ramps out and spray them separately, but that's about it for this first half. I think it looks okay. It's not perfect, but I mean, with minimal, very minimal investment, I think this is a decent trailer that should hold most small cars that'll be hauling, at least for short tows. So yeah, watch for the next video where I'm going to finish the electrical, put the lights in, you know, wire everything up and make it all nice and neat. And thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. And yeah, thanks again for watching. And the girls say thank you for watching too.